Hello everyone, my name is Christina Rux and I'm here from Volvo Cars. Magnus just told me that it's more about fun than facts, so I think this presentation is going to suit that well. So my role at Volvo Cars is that I am the Chief Architect of Connected Car IT, which means I'm responsible for everything that we do outside the vehicle, of course working very closely together with my colleagues who are working on the onboard side. So let me just start off with a question, because Volvo is a very small brand in Germany, so just by raising your hands, and no sucking up now, how many of you would actually be interested in owning or driving a Volvo today? Wow, that's more than our market share, I can say. So that's really impressive. So hopefully more of you are going to raise your hands after this presentation. So to start off, I would like to talk a little bit of where we are at Volvo Cars. You may not know, but since the last 5 years after we were sold by Ford to Geely, we have been on a tremendous road towards a complete product and digital transformation. So last year we were very proud to present our first cars on our scalable platform architecture, SPA. And if you're into mechanics and so on, you should probably look up SPA as a platform. It's very interesting as a concept. So the first car released on a platform was our SUV, the XC90. And then this year we have released 3 more car models on this platform. The sedan S90, our versatile hatchback, the V90, and then just a couple of weeks ago our V90 cross country. So then when it comes to my daily work, I think this conference is very interesting for me because a lot of people are talking about what the car manufacturers could or should do, and I have to say in my daily work, I work a lot in issues like we are discussing and analyzing blockchain, we are thinking a lot and doing a lot about security, we are talking about protocols like MQTT and so on, so very many of the topics are coming into my daily area. And how we realized it, what you may not know, is that we have we are quite the forerunners of different connected car services at Volvo. So starting in the left-hand corner, we have our Sensors Connect, which is our infotainment and entertainment platform that has received a lot of HMI rewards. We do remote updates of service, so software download over the air. And then in the upper left corner, we have our Volvo on-call services that we announced already in 2001. But these services were so difficult to sell. They are based on the e-call and automatic crash notification and stolen vehicle tracking. But no dealer wants to talk about you crashing the car when you buy a car. So it was kind of difficult to sell. But then we announced the app, like similar to the app that Porsche now has announced. We announced that in 2010. And there, of course, you have all the remote control functions for your vehicle. Last year, we announced in Sweden, and we also rolled out last week in Norway, our in-car delivery service. And this means that I can order like my groceries or my internet shopping, electronics, sport goods, and so on, and have them delivered to my car. So like when I'm flying home today to Sweden, I can have the groceries already waiting for me in the back of my car. And then we also have started to demo the phone as key concept earlier this year, which really means to give out a digital key to somebody else. So a digital key transfer to somebody that you want to give access to your vehicle. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a business partner, and so on. There are very many different cases for this. And we've also demoed the work we are doing with road friction indication, which is a very hot topic, which means that you can actually do slippery road alerts, sending up data from a Volvo vehicle to the cloud, and then warn other clouds that there is an icy spot or that there is not a good grip for the car in the road ahead of you. And then, of course, we have also the autonomous drive that I'm going to talk mostly about today. So luckily, during lunch, I got the question on, why are we doing autonomous drive? Don't we want to drive cars? It's fun to drive cars. Well, at Volvo, we state that, well, driving was always about freedom, but we have a number of global trends that we are now looking at. So one important global trend is the urbanization and the growing megacity. And this actually means that a lot of more people around the world are moving into cities. I think we have 46 megacities now with more than 10 million inhabitants. And because of this, we also have growing problems with the air quality and also with the traffic accidents. And you may not know, but 1.5 million people are killed every year in car accidents, or in traffic accidents, I should say, not only cars, but traffic accidents. And the prediction is that if nothing is done, 2 million people are going to die every year from traffic accident in the year 2020, so in 4 years' time. So, of course, we want to do something about that. And then it's also about the time for commuting. We have a lot more people sharing the same space. So, of course, a lot of people spend a lot of time in the traffic jams. And there is also a growing trend of, you want to be efficient and you always want to be connected. So, this is the reality today. A lot of people are spending a lot of time in traffic jams. And when they are in traffic jams, they're doing a lot of other things than actually driving the vehicle. So at Volvo, we think that one of the issues that we want to address is that to give the customer the possibility to choose and the freedom to choose if you want to drive or if you want to use your time to do something else that is valuable to you. So it is still about freedom. It's still about the freedom to choose, the freedom to drive when you want to drive, and the freedom to do something else when you just want to be taken from situation A to situation B. So when it comes to AD, we think that one of the answers to the many needs and challenges is that we can improve traffic safety, we can improve the environmental outcomes, but we can also regain some of the lost time for the people that are in the cars. So this is our vision for 2020. This is a vision that we've had for a number of years. It's that no one should be killed or seriously injured in a Volvo by 2020. And we are moving very good towards that. By the way, the animal that you see in the road is an elk, and if you don't know, they can weigh up to 500 kilos. And we have about 300,000 wild elks in Sweden, so it's a known problem to us, you can say. And they also run around in the streets in cities like Gothenburg, so occasionally. And you don't want to hit them. I was told when I moved to Gothenburg, I was told that if there is an elk on the road, make sure that you aim for its back, because most of its weight is in the front. And you don't want to get really advices like that. I was thinking, where have I moved? This is not good. So when it comes to autonomous drive, that is really our promise in working with car safety on the other side of year 2020, because about 90% of the causes to accidents are because of driver distraction or something that the driver does wrong. And the AD cars are not going to send text messages or fall asleep while they're driving. So for us, it's very much about safety. And it comes back to that we are Volvo, and Volvo is at core about safety. So then we've had a lot of ideas on how to do this with autonomous drive. And then the question is how to do it. Well, our idea is that there is a lot of global challenges to everything about autonomous drive. So as a car manufacturer, we can't really change the legislation and we can't change the infrastructure of the cities. So we have started a project or a collaboration that is called DriveMe, and we describe it as the Nordic model of collaboration. We are working together with 6 partners, both in the private and in the public sector, and also with the academic world. And we're doing a research project. So what we are going to do is pilots with real customers in real traffic. So our DriveMe project started in Gothenburg in 2013. And our first pilot is going live in Gothenburg in 2017. And then we're going to have 2 more pilots in 2017, that is next year. So one in London and one in a city in China that has not yet been named. And during these pilots, we're going to have real customers driving real cars. So the car that's going to be used is the XC90TH, the plug-in hybrid that you can see here. And we are going to have them driving around the streets and just testing everything. So we're going to evaluate the traffic environments and also the customer preferences. And we need to do this in different cities, because different cities and different countries have very different driving behavior. If you've been to China, and if you've been to London, and if you've been to Gothenburg, it's very different. And then we're also going to test the Nordic model of collaboration and see if it works in other markets. So Gothenburg next year is our proof of concept. So here are the streets where we're going to do it. So we have selected the most used streets, you can say, the major roads in Gothenburg. They're about 50 kilometers, and they're also very boring to drive on. So I don't think anybody would choose to have the freedom to drive on those roads if not needed. And we're going to have 100 customers driving on these roads, verifying our technology. And to start with, it's going to be in a supervised way of manner, and then we're moving on to an unsupervised. I will describe that in a minute. So who can be a test pilot? Well, actually, at the end of the year, we are going to start our call for test pilots. So we are going to do research. So we're going to monitor the drivers and collect a lot of data on how they are driving, etc. So we want the drivers to reflect our future customers. So we are both looking for people that are leaving their children at daycare in the morning, and also others who are maybe want to prepare a presentation in the car while they go to work. So you can look on the site later this year and sign up as an autopilot if you travel on the roads in Gothenburg. So one question now is, of course, if we would bring this pilot to your home city, who would be willing to participate in a pilot like this? Who would dare to do it? Wow, early adopters, nice. So for us, it's about doing a both scientific and also human approach, and we are the only ones who are doing it this way. So we want to verify that our cars can really drive on this road and work in autonomous mode. And we also want to evaluate how the customer feels about this. So we want to evaluate when they let the car go into autonomous driving and how they feel about it. How long time does it take until you trust the car? And what kind of driving mode would you want to have from the car? So we're going to evaluate a lot of aspects of that. But at core, AD is really about safety for us. So for us, it's very important to make sure that our cars are working in autonomous mode as they should. So to start with, the pilot is going to work with the pilot assist. And the pilot assist functionality is partly built on what we have in our cars today, in the new cars that I just shown. So I think that a lot of people, especially young people, you have a mindset about what a modern car is, but I urge you all to go to a dealer and try one of the new Volvos and try all the functions that are there and all the connected functions, and also try out the pilot assist function just to get a glimpse on what's actually already in the market. So when you're in pilot assist, you still, then the car has been designed for somebody to supervise it. So you as a driver still need to be responsible, and we are going to detect like that there are hands on the driving wheel and so on. But then at a certain point of time, we're going to switch over to our autopilot cars, and there the car is fully responsible for everything that is going on. And when it comes to our autopilot, I can also say maybe you have seen our one of our announcements in August was about our collaboration with Uber. And our autopilot is a bit different because Uber, I don't know if you know, but they have like a beam on the top of the cars. And we can't have things like that because these are going to be real cars used by real people. So it needs to go through the car wash. So our equipment is a bit different. And then our CEO has boldly stated, and I'm really proud of that, that we are going to assume liability for the autonomous technology when used properly. And you may note that we are one of few who has actually done that. And I think this is really important as a car manufacturer to be liable when the car is driving. And for us, this is something completely new, because it's always been that we have created a product for which we are liable, but then the driver has a certain liability as well. With autonomous cars, we are liable for when it's being driven. So something about the technology that's being used, it shouldn't be underestimated how complex it is to make a fully autonomous car. So we have a number of cameras, of course, that are detecting objects and also reading a lot of signs and lane markings and so on. We have the radar that gives the 360 view of the vehicle and can detect if there are upcoming vehicles when you want to make lane changes and so on. If you listen to Scott Amix yesterday, he was talking about the laser that gives the car the vision ahead. So our laser will give the car 150-meter vision ahead, so that it can detect different things. And then, of course, we are highly dependent on having highly detailed map data. And I'm sure the next speaker is going to go into this topic, so that's going to be interesting to listen to. And then, of course, what my team is working on is the cloud connection. So it was announced this morning that you can't do autonomous drive until you have 5G. We are going to try. So I hope we are going to be successful without 5G, because as we know, it's not there yet. And we can't wait for 5G. So we are developing a lot of functions in our cloud to make the traffic control center completely aware of what's happening with the car, and also being able to see further on than the 150 meters and send signals, etc., back to the driver on how they should take care of the car in the best way. So in order to do this, we are building a lot of redundancy into the systems. And of course, we have had redundant systems before, but not to this scale. So you can see it as 3 different layers. First of all, you need a redundancy in the perception layer. You can't just trust one camera or one radar function. You need to have several different systems and make them redundant. And then when it comes to the decision logic, you also need to make sure that you have redundant decision logic. And then when it comes to the whole action taking, you also need to have redundant systems for the action making. So there is quite a lot of technology going into the cars that we are piloting next year, which is really exciting. And then I have a little movie to show how this is going to look like. And this movie is actually on YouTube, so you don't need to, if you want to look on the details on the technical specs and so on, you can go on YouTube later on. Just look for Volvo Cars and it's there.
In 2017, Volvo Cars will put 100 self-driving cars on the streets of Gothenburg in Sweden, with real customers in the driver's seat. The unique DriveMe project is a part of Volvo Cars' journey towards a crash-free future. Volvo has now designed a complete system solution. Multiple radars, cameras, a laser, and ultrasonic sensors monitor the complete 360 view of the surroundings. A network of computers processes the information, high-performance GPS, and a cloud-based 3D digital map, continuously updated with real-time changes in the traffic environment. If anything fails, there is a backup solution, just like in an aeroplane. This includes vital components such as computers, sensors, steering, and brakes. On the road, the car is able to handle even the most complicated scenarios. The technology is so reliable that the driver can focus on something else without having to pay attention to the traffic. Just like good drivers, potentially critical situations are approached with sensible caution. And in an emergency, the car reacts faster than most humans. When autonomous driving is no longer available due to exceptional weather situations, technical malfunction, or reaching the end of the route, the driver is prompted to take over again. If the driver doesn't take over in time, the car will bring itself to a safe stop. With the DriveMe project, Volvo enters uncharted territory in the field of self-driving cars. Taking the final step to driving safely in real traffic with ordinary people behind the wheel has never been done before. And for drivers, the everyday commute transforms from lost time to quality time, open for work or pleasure. The choice is entirely yours.
Yep, so if you're going to Gothenburg at the end of next year, if you're lucky, you will see one of the 100 cars going on these roads, and I'm sure there is going to be quite a lot of press about what the customers actually think about this. So how many are interested in driving or owning a Volvo now? Yay, good. Thank you so much, guys.